Ethan Knight had everything a man could dream of: wealth, power, and control. As the CEO of Knight Enterprises, he was known for being decisive and cold, a man who never let emotions cloud his judgment. But there was one decision that haunted him every night: the day he walked away from Ava Summers. She had stood in his penthouse, her eyes filled with tears and hope, whispering the words that shattered his world. "Ethan, I'm pregnant." He had frozen. It wasn't supposed to happen. His life was carefully calculated, perfectly timed. Marriage, kids, they weren't in plan. And instead of holding her hand, he had walked away. "Don't," he'd said sharply. "You deserve someone who wants this. I'm not that man." Ava had looked at him, heartbroken, before leaving quietly, clutching her stomach as if protecting the tiny life inside. Ethan never saw her again. For years later, fate decided to test him. Ethan was standing outside a small bakery in a quiet part of town. His driver had dropped him off to meet a potential investor. But what caught his attention wasn't business. It was laughter. Two little children, identical twins with dark curls and bright gray eyes, were running around a woman who was helping them tie their scarves. Ethan froze. His chest tightened painfully. He knew that voice, that laugh, that gentle way of speaking. Ava. She looked exactly the same. Soft brown hair tied loosely, a little flower on her cheek, wearing a simple dress that somehow made her glow. Time hadn't dulled her beauty. It had deepened it. But it was the two children that made his heart stop. "Come on, Noah, Lily, let's not make Miss Clara wait," she called, smiling down at them. Noah and Lily. Ethan's pulse quickened. He took an involuntary step forward. They looked around 3, maybe 4 years old. His mind spun. Could it be? Before he could think, one of the twins tripped, and Ethan instinctively rushed forward. "Careful," he said, catching the little boy before he hit the ground. Ava's head snapped up. Her eyes met his. The world stilled. "Ethan." Her voice broke slightly. He could barely breathe. "Ava." For a long moment, neither spoke. The twins stared curiously at him. "Mommy, who's that man?" Lily asked softly, tugging on Ava's dress. Ava's lips parted, but no words came. She quickly straightened, her protective instinct kicking in. "Just someone Mommy used to know," she said quietly. But Ethan couldn't stay silent. "Ava, we need to talk." She hesitated, torn between anger and the shock of seeing him again. "Finally," she sighed. "Fine, after I dropped them off." The cafe next to the bakery was small and warm, filled with the smell of cinnamon and coffee. Ethan sat across from her, unsure where to begin. "You look good," he said, voice low. Ava gave a faint, humorless smile. "For years. That's all you have to say?" He swallowed hard. "I didn't know how to reach you. You disappeared." "I had to," she said. "You made it clear you wanted nothing to do with me or the baby." The word baby cut through him like glass. He looked down, guilt flooding him. "I was scared. I wasn't ready. I thought I was doing the right thing, letting you go." She stared at him, eyes shining with disbelief. "You didn't let me go, Ethan. You left me when I needed you most." He had no defense. Everything she said was true. "And the twins," he whispered. "They're mine?" Ava hesitated. Then she nodded slowly. "Yes, Noah and Lily. They're yours." Ethan's breath caught. His children. He'd missed their first words, their first steps, their first smiles. Years he could never get back. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked hoarsely. Ava's voice trembled. "Because you made it clear you didn't want to be a father. I wasn't going to beg you to change your mind. I built a life for them, a happy one. They have everything they need." Ethan leaned forward, desperate. "But they don't have me." She looked away. "You don't get to say that now." He reached into his wallet and pulled out a small photo he'd carried for years, picture of them together on the night he proposed. I never stopped thinking about you, Ava. I thought I could bury myself in work and forget, but I couldn't. I was a coward then. I'm not anymore. Tears filled her eyes. It's not that simple. Let me try, he said softly. Not just for you, for them. Please. For weeks, Ethan visited the bakery. At first, Ava kept her distance, but the twins, innocent and curious, grew fond of him. He'd bring them small gifts, storybooks, coloring sets, little cupcakes shaped like stars. He learned that Ava had built the bakery from nothing, pouring every ounce of her strength into it. It wasn't just a business, it was her healing. And slowly, she began to soften. She saw how Ethan treated the twins with patience, care, and quiet love. He'd sit with them for hours, helping them draw or reading stories. Noah started calling him Mr. Ethan, and Lily, always more fearless, called him Daddy one morning without thinking. Ava froze when she heard it, but when she saw Ethan's eyes well with tears, she didn't correct her. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, Ethan found Ava closing the shop alone. Long day? He asked gently. She smiled faintly. Always. He stepped closer. Ava, I don't want to lose another day with you, or with them. Let me be part of your life, our life. Her eyes searched his, trembling. How do I know you won't walk away again? He took her hand and pressed it to his heart. Because I've already lived the worst pain, the pain of walking away from the only family I'll ever want. I won't make that mistake again. Ava's eyes softened, but she didn't speak. Instead, she stepped closer, tears sliding down her cheeks. They deserve a father who stays, she whispered. Then I'll stay, he promised, every day for the rest of my life. And for the first time in years, Ava believed him. 4 months later, the bakery was brighter than ever, decorated with balloons and laughter filling the air. Noah and Lily were giggling as Ethan lifted them onto his shoulders. Ava stood beside him, her hand resting in his. Mommy, Daddy. Lily shouted, Look, we made cupcakes with hearts. Ethan smiled, glancing at Ava. Looks like they take after their mom. Ava laughed softly. Maybe a little after you, too. He leaned down, whispering, I love you. She looked up at him, eyes warm. And I love you, Ethan. Welcome home.